All right, guys, I am Melissa Shaver. I am a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I am so excited to have every one of you on this call tonight. It is a special night, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect. I have two educational leaders here with us. I wanted to interview two women that are precious friends of mine that are in the education system. We are sending our kids back to school. I know some are homeschooling, public school, private school, making decisions. We're all praying that these babies will stay in school, stay healthy. And I thought it was just the most excellent time to have a conversation with women that are in the education system or formerly were. And you're going to get to hear from them. You're going to get to hear why online business was something that attracted them. And you're going to hear how it has blessed them. And so with that said, I'm just going to get started and introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, I am Melissa Shaver. I work full-time with Plexus Worldwide, and I also have a nonprofit that I continue to work with that is something that I founded back in 2007. But before I started just Plexus and focused with Plexus in ministry, I was in the medical field. I had a medical clinic and did about 50, 60 hours. And before that, I was corporate America. So it's kind of crazy to see. I was that traditional upbringing of the business model that many of you may be familiar with, working lots of hard hours, really working hard to be seen, to be promoted, and to be able to do the things that I felt like God was calling me to do. But what's so fascinating to me, even as I think about it today, is all of us, I think, are in the same boat that we're always looking at other income streams. I mean, doing the work I got to do, executive type work, great opportunities, but I still was looking for multiple income streams. I still needed to take care of babies and college tuition and clothes and supplies, and living in America is expensive. That's just bottom line. And so in that, I was looking, and this opportunity came up. And actually, this month will be 8 years for me, I believe, which is really, really exciting. And now this is what I do. And it has surpassed my executive salary, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And you're going to hear all kinds of stories tonight in regards to that. Because in the beginning, it might be like you just needed that $500. I just needed to buy basketball shoes for my son. I needed to get uniforms for my kids, right? So those are the things that we look at, that we realize that another income stream can help you be able to do that. And so I'm really excited for you to be able to hear some of the things tonight. The first person that I wanted to talk to is Lindsey Pulverenti. And Lindsey, I hope I always say your last name correctly, but Lindsey is in Missouri. She is currently a school teacher and loves the work that she does and feels called into that work. And that's another thing that I think is super exciting. But I would love for you to share with us just for a moment a little bit about your story, your background, why you love Plexus, why you love these products, but also just why are you all into this business?
Yeah, so Melissa, thank you so much for the opportunity to share tonight. So as she said, I am a teacher. I am starting my 17th year teaching high school business. I did take a little 4-year break from teaching, and I stepped into administration. I was an athletic director and an assistant principal. And I realized that if you're in those roles, you are never at home. You are always supervising something. And I had our oldest daughter was just a couple years old at the time. So I'm like, I need to get back in the classroom where I can be at home more often. But I like to say that I had self-diagnosed myself with mom disorder. So I had headaches and, the just complete exhaustion and the bloating, just all those things that we sadly joke about as just being that mom life. And I was doing a really good job of masking it with a smile and 3 cups of coffee every day. And so when my friend reached out to me about Plexus, I kept oh, I'm healthy. I'm not having to go to the doctor, so I don't really need those. And so when I finally took the opportunity to give it a shot, I realized our bodies can feel amazing, and it doesn't have to rely on coffee and things of that nature. So I just was starting to feel so great taking these products. And when other people started noticing that they could tell a difference in me, then I knew, okay, there's something here with this. Being a teacher, we are on very strict budgets. We get one paycheck a month that lasts all month. My husband is actually in the education field too. He is a sports information director at a local college. And so we get 2 paychecks a month. And so we're very kind of regimented on what we're able to purchase. And so that was, starting Plexus and realizing like, I can't not take this because I feel so much better as a mom, as a wife, definitely as a teacher, but how am I going to continue to afford these products on such a limited budget? I knew that I had to figure out a way to incorporate sharing and still maintaining my career. And so, Melissa, I don't know if you want me to keep going or if you want to kind of like me to come back to that, or
no, go ahead, share with
okay.
you how you did that.
So, like I said, I knew that I had to be able to afford the products on a teacher's salary, but again, I was not, and I'm not ready to leave the classroom. I teach high school business. I love sharing with high school students how they can prepare for life after high school. I teach personal finance as one of the courses that I teach. And so Melissa talked about those multiple streams of income and how important they are. And so I feel like I kind of have to walk the walk if I'm going to talk the talk. And so, having a side business, and I talk to my students about the importance of finding things that you're passionate about beyond maybe your day-to-day job. And I have become extremely passionate about this company and what we have to offer, both from a health side and as well as a business side. And so I love how easy it is to share. We share stuff all the time, whether it's a recipe or a new organizational tip or just things about our family. So it's really easy to tell people how great you feel, when you're using these products. And so I was really nervous at first because I didn't really want to do the business because I have been involved in other multiple streams of income. So I do have experience with other direct sales companies, and I wasn't ready to step into another one because I kind of been burned a little bit before. Has anybody been involved in other either network marketing, direct sales? Did you have a closet full of products that you had to try to sell? Were you constantly messaging your friends saying, hey, would you hold a party for me this month because I'm trying to, hit a sales goal? Like, I was so scared at first to share because I thought they're going to say, oh, what's she selling this time? But again, when people see that you're feeling better than you ever have, they start inquiring. I've been very fortunate that it's so easy to share. Like, as far as this business model, we are sharing so many stories of hope. It's very natural to be like, look at this amazing, story and how these individuals have overcome, different medical, situations and things of that nature. I've been very fortunate that I would say probably 8 out of 10, if not 9 out of 10 individuals who have come alongside of me have reached out to me because they have seen what we have to offer. So it's not like any other company I've ever been a part of where I feel like I'm like pushing it on them. They see what we have to offer, and it makes it really easy to share and see how great things are here at Plexus.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I love just what you said about in your teaching, and you have a really big desire to mentor. Like, that mentorship of sending people out is amazing. And I love how you said that you have to model what you speak, right? Which is multiple income streams, which is a really big deal. But I just want to share real quick with our guests that are with us tonight, what is Plexus? What is social selling? What does all of that look like? And we are a community of people. We're very much relationship people driven. We're a plant-based company of supplements And I love the things that we do, because whether you're 2 years old or 90 years old, like, everybody needs the products that we have and what we do. This community is a community, and I hope that you see that even in people sharing like where they're from and what they're doing tonight. Like, we are a community that loves to serve people, loves to bless people, and we understand the value of that. And I think in today's world and where we are, and we're seeing more and more of the importance of community, the importance of having a gracious life and being gracious to people. And I really do believe that Plexus Worldwide is at the forefront of learning how to love well, learning how to do community the right way, learning how to serve people. We're a non-GMO, gluten-free, pure health to the masses is the work that we do. And the great thing is that you get to be your own business person, which I absolutely love, that I get to design my lifestyle, but you're never alone. Like, you are in community and you have people that are here to support you. So what is social selling? I talk a lot about online businesses, e-commerce. It's becoming more and more at the forefront. Whereas as I grew up, it was traditional corporate America. I was raised by an entrepreneur, but he raised me to be educated, which I absolutely believe, and go, I have my master's, like, I believe in that. And then you get into corporate America and you go up the ladder. Like, that is what I was trained to do by my parents, and that was built into me. Online business is a whole different model, and it is becoming the model. And once we went through what we went through last year, it's becoming a favorite model, if I can say that. People came to the realization in the midst of the hardest time that I think any of us have lived through, of a pandemic like that, but we also realized the beauty of being home and flexibility and flexible hours and being able to work out at certain times, be able to be right there to cook, not having a 1-hour commute, all those different things that made us become this creative mind of saying, what if I could do this always? And because of that, I think that this becomes a bigger and bigger business model that people are saying, I want to be curious towards that. So that's social selling, online businesses, social selling, e-commerce. It is done across social media. So all different social media platforms. It's what you share, what you love. We all share our recipes, our hair products, the place that we went to and ate out with friends. It is sharing what you love. And that's one thing that Lindsey even said was, it's easy to share this. And actually, in sharing our life's loves, people sometimes will come to us through that. I heard her say that. Maybe you heard her say that a little bit ago. And that's what happens there. But this is what I want you to understand. This is from Forbes magazine. And it's just some statistics on e-commerce, online businesses. It grew 44% last year in the midst of the pandemic. And what I want you to hear about that is that it is its own robust economy outside of the US economy. Like, when the US was pulling back, we were being shut down, businesses were closing, online businesses soared. They grew 44%. So I want you to be thinking about that. Like I said, social business, online businesses, it's very much value driven, relationship driven. And if you think about, if you really are being curious to say, what are some of the things that I can do? How can I be creative? Want to get flexible hours back? Want to be able to give to my family? I want you to think about, when you look at social media and online businesses, currently it's a 3.6 billion active people on social media. That's more than half the population. And stats are showing that by 2025, it will be at 4.41 billion. So you talking about having, the world as your oyster, you have that in online businesses. So one thing that I always say whenever I am talking about this business, and you can hear my passion in this business, is that I want you to be educated. There's all different types of businesses that you can do as an online business. We are sharing with you Plexus Worldwide, but for you to be educated, for you to think through the different pieces of what works, like, we go to the masses. So it's not just for men, just for women, just for children, just for adults. It's across the board. Those are things that you want to think about when you're looking at starting a business. So that's why I want to share those things, because I want you to be smart. I want you to make a decision. You're here to be curious, to say, does this fit me? Does this community fit me? What I'm hearing, do I resonate with that? So I want to share those things with you so that you can hear that. So, Lindsey, I did just want to ask you one more thing of just knowing that you're creative and you're organized and that you love to serve. That social selling model that you have, just you talked a little bit about how it was important to you that you modeled what you spoke on, like how you teach, what you share with your students. How comfortable was it actually stepping over? You shared a little bit of, in the beginning, it was like, how do I get myself out there? But I'd just love for you to share just a few just simple steps that it takes. If someone said, okay, I'm ready to kind of try to do this, what were a few of those things that you did that helped you step into this business?
Well, I really think it's just linking arms with the ones that are around you. We say one plexus, and we really mean that. Whether it is your upline, your sideline, your three people removed. I mean, we really are in this together. And so it doesn't matter if you are just looking to have your products paid for, if you are looking to have fun money, if you are looking to, leave your current career, there is a place for you in this business model wherever you want to see yourself. As far as from a teaching standpoint, do we have any educators here with us tonight? Are there any other teachers on here? Well, maybe there's going to be some teachers who listen to the recording. One thing I would say is that, which I spent the last 2 days and have 2 more days of professional development. And I'm sure if you are in maybe the corporate world, you have professional development as well. And so they're teaching you how to do your job, better. For us, we're, classroom management, instructional strategies, hitting benchmarks, all the things. But this is the first time where I've really gotten personal development, and I have people pouring into me, shifting my mindset. I do have, the tools. I can do this no matter how far I want to go. And I really love that about this business model, is just, giving you that confidence and the courage. The other thing, so we do have some teachers on here. If you know of anything about teaching, as far as our compensation, at least for here in Missouri, the only way you get a raise is if you either teach an extra year. So our salary is based upon years of experience or your education level. So we go spend more money to get a higher degree so that we can potentially make more money. And so it doesn't matter how many hours you spend in your classroom. It doesn't matter how many of your students, hit high test scores. We're really kind of stuck in what our salaries are. I'm blessed. I work in a district. I will not complain about my teacher salary, but I like being challenged. I like being able to see my hard work be, compensated. And so I think that that's what's fun for me in this industry as well, is that the more I put into it, then the more I get out of it. And then as far as kind of the similarity is that in teaching, I see my students grow and I see them learn new things. And with this, I get to see people's lives change, and I get to see them grow into new people because they feel so much healthier and happier. So I hope, Melissa, that answered your question.
Yeah. You're such an educator. I'm listening to you going, teachers just have this uniqueness about them, about how they communicate. And y'all are about to hear that also from Robin Sullivan. She's probably one of the greatest communicators I know. But I just love, so thank you. You speak it so well. I appreciate that. I think so much about you being in the school district, and like I said, all of our kids going back to school, and we have such a desire to have that strong immune system, to know that we're healthy. We talked about those multiple income streams and the importance of that. And I feel like all 3 of us did step into this from a health standpoint. All 3 of us have that story. And we moved, directly into this business because we saw the opportunity that this business has and this compensation has. But I just want to speak directly to our guest. If you're listening to this, and I see Robin while ago, I can't see everyone because we have a lot on this call, but I see Robin, who is an educator, shaking that head, everything that Lindsey's saying. And some of y'all are like, yes and amen. I get that, right? And hearing that, I want you, if you feel in your gut or if your heart is kind of racing, going, this is me, this is for me, this is something that I really am leaning into. I'm really going to challenge you to not pull back and say, maybe I'll do it once school gets going or the kids get in or we get a little bit further into fall. I just want to challenge that. I want you to think about where you have been the last 18 months and that anxiousness that you've had. There's no better time than now to really step in, and whoever invited you here, as soon as we get off this call, to say, hey, I want to be a little bit more curious. So what would be my next steps of learning what I need to learn about this business? Because I do believe that this is something that I need to look more into. But with that, I want to introduce my special, precious, dear friend, our special guest, Robin Sullivan. I shared a little bit earlier. I want you to know a little bit about her background as we step into this. She comes from the education background, like I was sharing. She was a vice principal in a school just north of Dallas, Texas. And she has taken just that education expertise that she has, her incredible leadership skills, and she has really stepped full time, if you will, into this business, this online business. And she's going to be sharing that with you because she's had just great success with that. And she has a wonderful husband named Derek. She has two gorgeous daughters that are growing up way too fast. They have started school, so they are in the school system of everything that we're talking about. And Robin, I just want to say thank you. I know how busy you are. I know everything that is on your plate. I want to say thank you for being here with us tonight. And I wanted just to ask you a couple of questions, if you're open to that. I know that you started, kind of like I said, I know that you started for the products for personal health, but with your education background, with your heart to serve and your love to serve, you started sharing. And my biggest question is, did you step into this business intentionally? Was that an intentional decision that you made as you stepped into the business?
I would love to say that I'm super smart and that I did, but I didn't. I was looking for weight loss. I was looking to gain willpower over food. I had some really yucky cravings, some bad vices. And so I didn't. I really started for the products, but I did see early on that this was an opportunity for everyone, just like Lindsey said, and just like you talked about specifically, Melissa, that these products are for the masses. So when I saw that very early on in my journey, I decided, and I did at that point make an intentional decision that, I'm going to start sharing these products and educating myself more about the products and then educating others about the products. So in some ways it was, but really I started for the products initially.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how the products align just with your personal values.
Oh, goodness. In so many ways. First, they really, really tugged at my heartstrings because I lost my father at the age of 29. He was only 63. My oldest daughter, who's now 14, she was only 8 months old when he passed. It was gut-wrenching, heartbreaking because he was my best friend. And it was a very sudden death. And I knew that if we had gotten to the root cause of whatever his health issues were, that he would still be here today, probably. And I definitely knew that way back then because I started Plexus almost 8 years ago. So it was really 5 years after he passed that I found out about Plexus. And so I was really drawn to the fact that these products focus on really getting to the root causes of people's health issues, really focusing on decreases systemic inflammation in the body, really focus on helping people to heal and to repair their gut, really helping people to balance their blood sugar. That really was appealing to me. And so that was the first thing that really aligned with my personal values. It also aligned with my personal values because I had had a lot of friends, honestly, over the years, Melissa, share with me opportunities to sell cosmetics or to sell monogram handbags or to sell, scented candles. And while I'm truly a girly girl, so I love all of those things, I was never really drawn to share those types of products because they weren't really a necessity, they were a luxury. And these products are very, very unique in that they are getting to the root causes of a lot of people's health issues, but also, just like you said earlier, they are for the masses. They're for literally every single person who has a gut, right? So that's every person on the planet. And so to me, it felt very natural for me to want to share something that could possibly transform somebody's health
Mhm.
and share that consistently over time. I knew that I would never be passionate enough to share something like nail strips and nothing wrong with those things. I'm not bashing anything that anybody has shared in the past, or if that's something that you currently do. But I just knew for me, it had to be something that really mattered and that was life changing and transformational for people for me to want to stick with it long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Talk to me about the business model. How was that a fit for you, and what attracted you to our business model?
Well, in retrospect, I realize now that for 30 some odd years, I was doing network marketing. I just wasn't getting paid.
Mm,
um, I had been investing in people, investing in relationships, sharing what I love for decades. And
mhm.
honestly, if you're listening to this call, every single one of you can say the same thing, whether it's on a large scale or a smaller scale. I'm really what I consider an extroverted introvert. I really love being by myself, but I absolutely love people. And so for years, I had been doing social selling. I just wasn't getting paid for it. So it really was a natural fit for me to share these products as soon as I started to feel any sort of difference, which was pretty immediate. Because why would I keep something this good to myself? That was kind of my thought process when I got started.
Yeah. And you're still a social seller of all things.
All things.
That is who you are. So it's super fun. That's so true. So talk to me a little bit about your transition from full-time education, and then transitioning to being in the home, being with your family, and coming into this business the way that you have. What did that transition look like for you?
Well, I did start out pretty slow, meaning I was just naturally sharing in the beginning. I was talking about it on social media, just like I would if I went to a great movie that I was suggesting for someone to go watch, or if it was a great recipe that I tried that was fabulous that my family loved. I was just naturally and casually sharing in the beginning. But I was treating it like a hobby, if I'm being honest. And I was fitting it into the nooks and crannies. Lindsay probably mentioned this, but when you're an educator, whether you're a principal or you're a classroom teacher, you are on the entire time you're at school. So there really was no time for me to try to fit that in during the workday per se. But when I got home, I would make sure I posted on social media. I would, reach out to a couple friends, follow up with a couple friends and family members, and that would be me working my business, right? But once I started doing this pretty consistently, and I found myself making half of what I made as an assistant principal just 8 months in, that's when I realized, wait a second, if I put that little effort into this and I'm making X amount of dollars, which was half of what I was making as an assistant principal, what would happen if I actually started treating this like a business? So that's when I really made an intentional decision to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset about this business and about me taking this business to the next level. So at that point, I walked away from my career in education. I was at the rank of gold, which is the second rank in our company. And it was a total leap of faith, but I knew that the Lord was nudging me to walk away, not because I ever honestly thought that I would make it to the top of the company. It was really just a true desire to be at home with my girls. They were 3 and 6 at the time. They're now 11 and 14. And I just knew that I wanted to be more present. I knew I wanted to be there for my girls. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm a person of faith. So I decided to walk away. And I knew that God would honor my faithfulness. I just had no idea how much He was going to blow my mind and just knock my socks off in this business, because I really took on this mindset of creating ripple effects of change in my community. And that has blessed thousands upon thousands of people in my sphere of influence. And I'm just so grateful that God chose me as a vessel.
Yeah, yeah. I wish we had the time for everyone to hear your beautiful story, because that is so true. Y'all hear that and you think, okay, that's a pretty cool statement, but I'm like, oh no, like, do you really know
If
what
they
that
only knew.
So it's such a beautiful story, and it has been a ripple effect. And I feel like you've been a pioneer in this industry and in your community, and it's been a joy to watch that. So tell me a little bit, if people are like, they're really questioning this business, what would you say to someone that really has a belief that you said that you're an extroverted introvert. But what if some of the people, some of our guests that are here are questioning, like, well, I'm totally an introvert, I'm not an extrovert. You have to be an extrovert to be able to do this business. Or I don't have a big following on social media, and this is all about online business. I don't have a big following, so therefore I can't be successful. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, I first would say you're going to get exactly what you put into this. And if you think that you can't, then your mind is going to find ways to prove that, right? So I first like to challenge people's mindset, right? Would absolutely ask them to really think about this idea that maybe you don't have to have 100,000 followers on social media. Like, no one even knows who I am on Instagram, y'all. Like, I am horrible at it. And I have been at the top of this company and have been able to create a really lucrative business, and a sustainable business. Melissa and I are sideline sisters. We've been doing this both almost 8 years, and neither one of us have huge followings on social media. So we can debunk that myth just right there. But I started this journey with, a couple hundred friends, not a ton. And I made an intentional decision every single day that I was going to expand my network and be intentional about that. And I use the word intentional a lot because in order to build something like this, you do have to have a lot of intentionality, especially when you're doing this like Lindsey is alongside another full-time job. You have to be very intentional. But I would also say there's nothing in this business that's not this, it's not something that you can't learn. So even if you feel like, man, I don't have a lot of influence over who, maybe I haven't been a people person my whole life, I am a true introvert. I don't, it's not that you don't like people, but maybe you just haven't exposed yourself to enough people that you think would help you to be successful. You can learn those skills. That's the amazing thing about this, is that I have taken a group of people, a group of individuals in my community and said, hey, it doesn't matter where you're starting, like what your starting point is, you can grow in this business. And I would really venture to challenge people on this thought process and idea of the time is going to pass anyway, guys. Like if you're working a full-time job like Lindsey is, and she's going to work the next 30, 40 years, which by the way, those step increases that Lindsey was talking about, I don't know where Lindsey lives, but in the good old state of Texas, those step increases, that's what they call it for educators, they're like $300 a year. That's if you got the step increase, right? So if you're going to school to go get a master's to get a step increase of $300 a year, it's going to take you years to pay off that school loan just to get that step increase. I want you to understand the scale of that and really understand that there are people in our business that are making an extra $300, $400, $600, $1,000 a month in 1 month, much less in an entire year. And they're not having to go get a master's degree to do that, or go and spend their summers working, doing summer school and doing, professional development. And so I really want people to understand that anybody can do this. And there's so many examples of that in our company, within both of our teams, that anybody, if you make a decision that you want a different life and you want to create and design a life that you love, and create and design a life that you don't need a vacation from, this is possible for anyone.
Man, that can preach. That can preach, girl. So tell me this, if somebody is listening to you, how can you encourage them if they just have they're a little bit fearful of stepping away? You did it and you said, I have a strong faith. I knew that the Lord would bless that faith. If somebody is wanting to step out of traditional corporate or educational, and step into online business, how would you encourage them?
The way that I would encourage them is to help them to see that you're you're making a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. Okay. So whenever you step out and you're wanting to become an entrepreneur, or you're wanting to do what Lindsey teaches about, having multiple streams of income, you're going to have to make some sacrifices, right? That's just the way it works, you know? And so in my mind, for me to help someone to see that this is possible for them too, just consider it as, man, if I want to end up, and this is really the way that I looked at it, I really wanted to make an executive level income, which I would never have made as an educator, not an assistant principal, not even as a superintendent, which I had no desire to be a superintendent, by the way. But even if I had, I would not earn the income that I'm earning now, working from home with my kiddos here, right? But you absolutely can make this whatever you want. You can, but you've got to put forth the effort. That's the first thing. And secondly, I really truly believe that this is the type of industry that you are getting paid to personally develop yourself. So if you are wanting to grow, if you're wanting to develop yourself, you're wanting to become a leader, you're wanting to hone those leadership skills, this is absolutely the industry, and particularly the company, to help you do that. And so I just encourage you to do it, because again, the time is going to pass anyway. So even if it would have taken me 12 years to get to the top of this company, it would have been worth it, because I might as well build my dream instead of building someone else's dream.
Man, that's good. So tell me this last question. What would you say would be your top 3 things for someone to be successful in this business?
Oh, goodness. First is consistency. I absolutely believe in the compound effect. I 100,000% believe in the power of doing like seemingly mundane menial tasks, what we consider at the time menial tasks, over and over and over again to create a compound effect. That's absolutely, I'm living proof of that. So I would say consistency is first. 2 is just belief and coachability. I believed that I could do this. If you go into this believing that you can't, then you're not going to be able to. So it's really, really important to work on your mindset, and also to be coachable, because we have amazing systems in place that make this a lot easier than you realize. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And so when you come alongside someone like amazing Melissa Shaver, like you or Lindsey or other leaders on our teams, there is just absolutely no reason to try to create it yourself. You know, if someone's come before you and they're showing you the way, and they've shown you the way to go, then embrace that and be coachable, and understand that this is something that takes time. So it also does require a level of faith, because you really don't know when you're an entrepreneur, you don't really know what the next step is going to look like. And you don't know when your season is going to come to pass, but it will come to pass. It just is a matter of you having that belief, having that faith, and really having that consistency.
Yeah, so good. So good. So Lindsey, I want you to tell me, what is there's a lot of different things that we could say, but what is your favorite thing about Plexus Worldwide? What is it that you love?
And I kind of touched on this before, but I really do think that it is that whole One Plexus community, the family. Again, it doesn't matter where you fall in our big family tree. We're all still a part of the same family tree. And I have been able to meet so many people, you know, from across the country. And that to me is really unique. I don't get that in the education world. I have my people next door, the people across the hall. And so I like having that support from all over. The other thing that I will tell you too, so I am a public school teacher. My faith is really important to me. And I love that these individuals are here with me. They pray with me. That is something that I don't get at school. And so that, if you are looking for that, it is, you know, here. We are ready to embrace you, arms wide open, and support you on your health journey, your personal growth journey, your spiritual journey. It really is all aspects of your life.
I love that. That's so good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I believe, you know, our team mission is that no one is left behind. Like, we created this movement And we have such a desire for families to get stronger, for their immune system to get stronger, for them to feel alive in multiple ways. But whenever you get healthy, you literally get happy. Your gut and your brain are so strongly connected. The community makes your heart connected, and you really do come alive. I think one of the biggest things I hear people say is how good they feel, but also that they're dreaming, that they're thinking creatively again, like all these things. We don't want to be the living dead. We want to be the living alive. And I think our world needs that today. And so because of that, that's a mission of ours, is that no one's left behind, that you are feeling good, that you are consistent on your products, and that your household is taking those things, and that it's paid for. And so for us, a mission for us is that you share with friends. And we've talked very much so of how easy and how simple our system is to be able to share comfortably, and be able to share that with friends. And so many people, it's that $500 that we talked about, that $500 a month. And we heard these educators saying that sometimes you get that in a year, not in a month, of having that advancement. But the thing for us that is so important about is that you get to continually be consistent on your products, but it also puts money in your pocket. Like I said at the beginning, my biggest thing was to be able to buy basketball shoes for my son, like to be able to buy an outfit for my daughters. We were on such a tight budget. I'll never forget whenever I started being successful with Plexus, I took my girls out. Y'all, they were in high school. I mean, it'd been years of us being on a really tight budget. And we got to have a girls' day out. We went to lunch. They got to order anything that they wanted on the menu. We went to the store. They got to buy clothes. It used to be you could get one thing. What's your one favorite thing? They got to buy a couple of outfits with earrings that went with it. And they continued to say, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I mean, that's what this business does. It allows you to be able to give to family, to charities, to organizations in ways that you really didn't know that you could do. And that is true freedom. The joy that you have as a mama to be able to give to your kids in ways that are fun, but also give to your kids in ways that are a need for them. That's a big deal. And so we want that for you. We want you to be successful in those ways to be able to do that. We have families that are in our businesses that $500, that's what they want. That's what they need, and they're comfortable. We have other people in this business that they want that 6 to 7 figure income. This is what I want you to hear. You can have either. It is up to you. You heard Robin talk about that belief, having that faith, having that entrepreneur mindset. It's you making the decision. It's your choice of what you choose for what you want your future to look like. And so with that, I wanted Robin, I would just want to ask you, I kind of want to close out. I asked Lindsey, but I'd love to hear from you. What is it about Plexus that you love?
All the things that Lindsey said, the personal growth with the compensation plan, the community is second to none. But I would add to that, really this opportunity to help so many people reach their full potential, for you to first reach your own full potential, but then to be a vessel and be a conduit in helping so many other people around you reach their full potential. There's literally nothing like it. It's one of the most gratifying things I've ever done. And I got a lot of gratification from education. I really did, both educating in the classroom and educational leadership. But to be able to see that you have a tool for people to not only improve their health, but also their finances, and to create a legacy for their family, there literally is nothing like it. So I'm just so humbled and blessed to be able to do the work that I do. The work that we do is so incredibly important and impactful. And I know that any educator that watches this playback or is on this call live will get, that teacher mind and the educator mind, and how much you have a heart for kids. I've just now parlayed all of that love and desire and passion into adults who are able to make even a bigger impact right here and right now with their own personal family. So that's what I love about this journey.
Man, I love that. Guys, wasn't this so good? First and foremost, Lindsey and Robin, thank you for being with us. I know that you've enriched everyone who took time to be here. I see a lot of people clapping their hands. If you are a guest with us, this is what I want you to hear. This month, You can make, $400 or beyond just by joining us, by inviting some friends. I've always said one of the greatest ways of being successful is not only joining, that is your first step into success, but bringing friends along with you to be accountable with you, to do this journey with you, and be able to immediately be able to put money in your pocket and have the money for the next 60 to 90 days to be able to be consistent on your products and see this community. You immediately step into community. You immediately step into personal development. We have mindset calls every single morning of coming together like this and setting ourselves up for the day. So you have all of that. So as we close out, this is what I want you to hear. What's next for you is that you go back to your friend. If you can't give them a huge hug and tackle them, give them a virtual hug. Say, thank you for loving me enough, for inviting me here to hear this tonight. This has been free for you, right? We said to come with curiosity and to come with an open mind. But I know without a doubt, whatever your decision is, I know you were blessed tonight. So go back, thank the person who invited you, but let them know, I'm ready. I'm ready to get started. Tell me what I need to do. Don't let your brain be that primitive brain that says, no, wait. I'm going to say, go with your gut and say, no, let's go now, and get started. So once again, Lindsey, Robin, thank you for your time. Everyone that's here tonight, I so appreciate you being here and being with us. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.